This one setting can be the difference between 0 or 10 million views on your next YouTube short. And by the end of this video, I'll show you how to fix it, along with 10 of the other most important settings to help you go from 0 view jail to millions of views per video. All right, so the first thing on my list is something that 99% of people mess up on the first day of them even starting their channels. This feature gives you access to content appeals, pinning your comments, higher rate limits, but most importantly, monetization. But here's where most people make a huge mistake, because it requires phone number and ID verification. And the way you handle this can quite literally make or break your YouTube channel before it's even started. And the setting I'm talking about here is actually called advanced features. And here's exactly where people go wrong. Never use your own face to verify. This is because YouTube can actually track and connect your face to all of the channels you own. So if you verify 10 totally different channels in different niches, all with the same face, and just one of them happens to get banned, literally every single one of your channels is cooked. This also will inherently mean that you are never going to be able to use your face to create any YouTube channel ever again. So what is the actual solution? Well, it might sound insane, but just use somebody else's face. That's literally it. It can be your mom, your brother, your friend. It does not matter. God knows it could be someone off the street, because it's completely risk-free. YouTube will not punish you for this, and you'll never have to use that face again in the future. This is especially important on channels that could be considered risky, like AI slop or transformative videos, which, let's face it, if you're already doing YouTube Shorts, most of you are posting this type of content. And if not, get to it, because those channels are completely free money. Branding is also extremely important, but it can actually get your channel screwed over like crazy if you do it wrong. And I'm not talking about using inappropriate images. I don't think you guys are that dumb. It's actually something that they don't tell you about at all. YouTube seems to have some trust ratings for specific channels, and it hates if you rapidly change your profile picture, banner, or channel description. At best, it can affect your views by a little bit, but at worst, it can get your entire channel pretty much shadow banned off the algorithm. YouTube flags channels that consistently switch their branding as suspicious or bot-like. I know people who love to create a channel, put up a profile picture and banner, and then change it 5 minutes later because they don't like the profile picture or aspect ratio. Then they change it again and again and again before they've even started posting. Then they sit there for days wondering why they're in algorithm jail. But behind the scenes, YouTube thinks you're trying to bypass their content filter. So they limit your channel until a real person can check it out. It's actually a bot that never gets around to it. Because if you've ever tried to get through to an actual person at YouTube support, just start another channel at that point, because it'll never happen. The solution is extremely simple though. Stick with your branding from day one, at least until the channel starts getting traction of some sort, like views, comments, or likes. So make sure to finalize all of your imagery before you even start the channel. Don't upload anything until you're happy with it. And then once you finally post it, keep it on your channel until you start getting views. Then you can decide to change it if you want. But at the end of the day, those things don't really matter. You just don't want to get screwed over by it before you even had a chance to succeed. Next is something I had to include just because of how important it can be as you start to scale your YouTube Shorts channel. And doing it wrong will give you problems you don't even want to run into. In your channel description, always include a contact email. This is for two reasons. First, when you start growing, it lets people easily reach out for sponsorships and partnerships, possibly making you way more money in the long run, which is a massive benefit. If you've watched any of my other videos or interviews with big creators, as much as 70% of their income comes from other sources like sponsorship and partnership revenue. And none of that would be possible if they didn't have a small email in their channel that looked like this. But secondly, and honestly maybe more importantly, it lets people contact you for copyright issues first before striking your channel immediately without thinking. If you're using other people's content in any way, like this for example,
this YouTuber discovered a forgotten tribe of people and recorded it.
Even if you believe it's completely transformative and meets the TOS, someone is going to have something to say about it eventually as you start getting more views, but most often they'll try to reach out first to get you to take down the video through an email like this. They'll say something like, take down the video or give me a percentage of the earnings, which is okay, but if you don't have any email, you're just going to wake up to your video getting striked and your channel getting destroyed before you even have a chance to do anything about it. And remember, if you get 3 copyright strikes, your channel gets instantly deleted, and honestly, there is no real way to get it back. YouTube's appeal system sucks. But here's the huge mistake that most people make. They put the same email they created the channel with as their contact email, which is literally the biggest security issue of all time, aside from like posting your password straight to Twitter. Because if people have your login email, all it takes is for your password to be leaked in any sort of database leaks, which happens so often. If I go to my screen over here and go to Have I Been Pawned, you can pretty much put your email in right here, Check if you've been leaked in any sort of database before, and chances are most emails have. I've checked a bunch of mine over the last few years, and because I'm irresponsible, I've seen my email pop up here as not safe. So do not put the same email you create your channel with as your contact one. Okay, at this point, you should be about ready to start uploading videos if you followed every step I've gone over so far. But there's still a ton of mistakes that people make at this point that don't just ruin your views, but your revenue, which is way more important. To start simply, priority number one is to make sure your videos are good quality. And no, I don't mean making actual good content. What I'm saying is making sure the resolution of your videos are above 1080p. There are literally no exceptions to this rule. YouTube only likes to push out the best looking content possible. So if it detects that you're uploading potato quality videos, you're not going to get pushed to any algorithm. The only thing you're getting pushed out of is your house because your parents don't believe in you anymore. I mean, just think about it. Would any of you watch a video that looks like this? Moving on, you might see this made for kids section at the bottom whenever you try uploading your videos. Do not press it. This is quite literally a kill my channel button, and that is the best way to put it. Marking videos as made for kids disables your comment section, reduces your monetization like crazy, because what you're doing is pushing to an audience that isn't willing to spend as much money on ads that get put in your videos. Some people think that they have to mark their videos like this if they're kid friendly, but that is completely not the case. You should only choose this option if you never expect a single adult in the lifetime of your channel to watch your video, because in reality, that's what's going to happen. These videos do not get pushed onto the main shorts feed. And that's not to mention that if any of the content you put on your channel is not kid friendly in any way and you've selected that button, you are going to get terminated instantly. And there's even grounds for legal action under the Child's Online Protection Act. You can seriously get fined up to $40,000 for breaking these rules. So at the end of the day, just don't select that button. Never press it and click the not made for kids option. Now, what are all these tags and keywords that you see in people's descriptions? The ones gurus tell you that will increase your reach and get you more views. That is complete BS. You need to completely ignore these people because they're setting a bad precedent that is actually going to get you less views in the long run, because you end up focusing on these semantics that don't really matter versus making the best videos possible and setting up your channel in the simplest ways. People think adding tons of keywords and tags in your videos are the difference between getting no views and getting millions, but they're pretty much irrelevant. If anything, this can confuse the algorithm and result in lower views and retention on your videos than you would have had otherwise. YouTube already knows what your video is about from the title, concept, and editing. Adding these random words just fogs the algorithm and ends up pushing your videos to totally unrelated places that can actually mess up your content entirely. There's actually a bit of evidence that shows that hashtags in your descriptions can potentially help, but in reality, it's probably placebo and isn't going to make a real difference. I mean, I'm a victim of doing this as well, as you can see. The craziest placebo, though, is the tags that you see over here in the back end. It makes absolutely zero difference, but a lot of people like to cram these with tags that really don't do anything for you and just honestly waste time and effort into you making actually good content. It'd probably be literally better to go and beg people on the street than to put tags here expecting your videos to go viral from it. To be honest, that is how I got my play button. I was out on the streets for multiple weeks. Now, this next setting is actually super interesting because on one hand, it could be super useful for some people, but pretty devastating for another group. And I'll explain why that is. It's super overpowered if you're a huge recognizable shorts channel, but if you're smaller, it can actually destroy you. Basically, for the first few hours after you upload your video, the publish to subscriber option will make it so that your video only gets published to subscribers instead of a bunch of random people on the algorithm. So if you've got a huge established viewer base like Zach D Films or Simply How, for example, will pretty much guarantee that your videos get pushed much further because the people that are going to be watching it off the bat are your core audience that love the videos you make. But for smaller channels, and more specifically CTA focused ones that pretty much have a call to action in the middle of the video and get hundreds of thousands of subscribers, just like the channel I ran called Verusi in another one of my videos, this is a death sentence. These videos are specifically made to get new viewers to like, comment, and subscribe on your content. Then YouTube sees the video and thinks it's some Michael Bay level masterpiece, which basically forces it to go viral. But imagine if everyone seeing that video was already subscribed. They would have already done the instructions that you set to them on the CTA, which means that you kill your traction right away. YouTube sees that the stats on the video are not good, therefore not pushing you into the algorithm and killing your videos and channel as a result. The same story follows for non-CTA channels too, it just isn't as bad. So unless your channel is super big and recognizable, you need to avoid this just like girls avoid me. Wait, Bro, who is writing this script? Now, at this point, once you're uploading videos that are getting a decent amount of views, your videos are in the algorithm, and you have the groove and ball rolling on your YouTube Shorts channel, how do you scale? Well, that's where the related video section comes in super handy. If you have a video going viral, you should be doubling down, making extremely similar content. This is where the related video feature comes in extremely handy, because as you can see here, it lets you connect other shorts to your outlier video that's going viral that can pretty much also push that one hard into the algorithm. The issue is this feature is extremely skill based. If you use it badly, it can actually harm your channel because you can be pushing videos that have nothing to do with the one you actually made, meaning that YouTube starts getting confused about where your audience is coming from, what they actually want to watch on your channel, and that is something you want to avoid entirely. An example on this Varusi channel is we actually made the title of the related video feature press the audio. Now what this did is it made people think they could actually click on the audio we were using in the video to check out what the sound was, but in reality it just sent them to another similar video on our channel, which pushed it further. What we did right is that we actually made a similar video to the one they were already watching, so it wasn't like they were watching two different formats that didn't relate to them. This way we got the views we wanted, YouTube saw that the audience was enjoying the content, and then pushed it out for everybody. But like I said again, until you properly start to blow up, you can leave this related setting completely alone. It only really comes in handy once you start getting bigger and the scale that's on your channel can meet the requirements of how cool that feature can be used. And the final setting is location. I saved this for so late in the video because an extreme amount of people are entirely wrong about how this works. Now, I live in Cyprus, but I travel across the entire world pretty consistently. I mean, shit, I was in Thailand last week, I'm in Los Angeles today, and I'm probably gonna go to New York next weekend. But do any of my channels really show that? No, they don't. All of them say United States because that's what I set as a default setting on all of my channels, and there is no need for me to change it. Obviously, if your viewer base is from a third world country, you tend to get a lower RPM. That's common knowledge, but this actually has nothing to do with the country you're actually posting from. You could live in Zimbabwe and upload high quality videos and they'd still get views and go viral, which pay you the same amount as anybody in the United States. I always put the United States on all of my channels, but it really does not matter. My students in my program live all over the world. UK, Brazil, Cape Town, Sweden. As long as they make good videos, they get results, which obviously they tend to do so. The one thing that could be a reason for you to change your region would be for brands to reach out to you and think that you're from a more serious location, which only really is important once you have a bigger channel, and more importantly than that, a channel that is actually going to get brands' attention, which 99% of the time with YouTube Shorts is irrelevant. Oh, and one thing I almost totally forgot about as I was watching this back in the edit, but auto dubbing can actually play a massive role in your shorts channel if you do it correctly. Obviously, not everyone in the planet speaks English, especially not these 10-year-olds who haven't fully developed yet, if you would say so. So in some cases, you can actually let YouTube grow your channel a ton if you allow them to automatically translate your videos for you. The only issue is, like I mentioned before, is that places like South Africa, Latin America, Eastern Europe all give less money per 1,000 views than the USA. So you really do have to make a bit of a decision. I personally only like to dub videos in channels that are going to hit a few specific countries like France, Germany, because those tend to pay, and obviously not as well as the USA, but still a decent amount, enough for you to actually want to pay attention to it. So for some channels, I do think this is a generationally great idea to do, but just make sure your videos make sense to do it in these specific regions. Anyway, that's it. If you do exactly as I said, all you need to do is lock in, make some great videos, and the money will genuinely start flowing in. It happens for me. A few results here from just some of my own channels. This isn't luck. It's honestly just preparation and effort put in. Once you figure that out, you're probably going to start making money. Peace.